Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to quickly understand about the services. Now, these are some of the important things in AWS, which something you will learn. And each of these services has different meaning to it, and as well as different reason why it exists. Now, let's just talk about services on a whole in a real world example, and then we will compare this with actual services. Now, for example, if you talk about services, like for example, in your mobile phone, so your mobile phone has camera, your mobile phone has Bluetooth, your mobile phone has the phone, the calling purpose, right? The GSM or CDMA. So that's the whole reason of mobile phone, right? It can play videos, it can play audios, but how can you even access those features? If I want camera on my phone, like back facing or front facing camera, how do you work with it? How do you think about it and then it opens up? No, it doesn't, right? So you have applications for each of those, isn't it? So you have application for camera, you have application for phone, which actually goes and dials and then uses the CDMA or whatever the GSM technology it uses. You have app to enable Bluetooth, right? That's when it connects to something, right? So these are apps for specific purposes, isn't it? The same thing on AWS is these services. Now, if you see a mobile phone evolution, the camera, the phone, the videos, it didn't all come in one time, right? If you go 10 years back, you would be using a flip phone, which will be used majorly for doing, connecting with another person over a phone call, right? But nothing else you can do with a mobile phone. But then the add-ons, right? These are something like add-ons which keeps coming. You get a new version of camera, you get more megapixel stuff. So as and when there is a new advanced in technology, you kind of have that added over time. The same with the services as well. So you will see more services getting added over time into AWS. AWS came up with like 100 services before. Now it has more than 400 to 500 services, which is used for multiple reasons. And these are services which is added on over the time. And then you kind of see these many services popping up, and these services has different reason for its existence. Though we may not be covering the entire services, estate of AWS, but then we will be touching base upon some of the services, looking at them in a very much a overview of sort. We will understand most of the services by its name. We'll understand what their purpose are, and I will try to give you some real world examples so that you can really associate the name of the services and what they actually perform on a real time scenario, so that you can answer those questions whenever that question pops up on your exam. Now, do remember that for our exam, they're just it's said in this document itself, as you can see in the appendix A. So it says technology and concepts. These are technologies and concepts that appear on your exam. So these are, some of them are services. Most of them are services actually. So you can see that the regions and AZs, which we just did the overview some time ago, and there is this migration of cloud, and you have network services. You have just so many services over here, which is going to be a part of your exam. So you need to know the differences between these services and what actually they do. That's all they require at this point of time, because this is a foundational level certification. They don't want you to know the details or how to operate them, or with some advanced stuff. They don't want you to know. They want you to know the basic stuffs about it, so that they'll be like, okay, this person is familiar with these services, so I'm gonna he has chosen the right answer. So it won't be complicated. I have seen questions for a professional course, associate level courses, and specialist level courses. Those questions are so complicated, but it's not so much over here. So you don't really have to worry about it. I'm going to cover all these things for you. I'm going to give you real world examples so that you can understand this much better. All right. So these are some services which uses for different purpose. For example, let's take 2, 3 services and try to understand the relevance of that service. EC2 instance, it's called Elastic Cloud Compute. EC2, why it says 2 over here? Because there are 2 C's, Elastic Cloud Compute. So that's why they call it EC2. So what is Elastic Cloud Compute? It's going to give the elasticity to induce compute power whenever you need it. So that's where your servers are going to be created. Okay, so that's where your reason for being in AWS. Okay, that's the first service, which is the only reason you should be in AWS, because it gives you infrastructure as a service. This is where you can populate servers. Then you have the cost manager. The cost manager, as the name explains, tells you about the cost, and it also tells about like what has been billed so far and what is your prediction of billing. So if you're going to use this or consume this space, right? This is the amount it's going to be. That's prediction, right? So it all does that. Billing. What billing does, as the name says, that's where you pay the monthly bill, whatever you have incurred as a cost with AWS. What is Elastic Load Balancer? Elastic Load Balancer gives you load balancing capability for your application, which is hosted on AWS. Simple as that, right? So a lot of services here has the reasoning in its name itself. So again, this video is just an eye opener. We're not going to discuss about any of the services, so you don't really have to have that pain or overhead that, oh, we're going to discuss about this service. No, we're just going to, go ahead and casually look at these things and see, what are the services available. So I'm just going to show you that around. So EC2, when you go to the homepage, right, you will see a lot of items here, which is like coming up in a modular fashion. Okay, so there is this cost service coming over here, which tells me what is my forecast or prediction of this monthly bill, what's going to be at the month end. And it also tells me like what is the current cost which I have to pay at this moment. So if I delete all my services, this would be the amount I have to pay. Okay, so now it also tells me about some trusted advisors, some items over here. This is all coming from one service on another. Okay, so we don't want to know some details over here at this moment. You can also add more widgets. You can also pull in data from different services as well. So those things are also available. This is your dashboard. Okay, this is what you will see when you create a free account and log in into AWS. So don't worry about the free account. So I'm going to tell you how to create your free account and log in. And I'll make sure that you don't get billed for, all these things unless and until you do something by yourself. But I'm going to give you all those preparations for you so that you don't get billed and you be in the free limit utilization. But then do remember that there are some items which we're going to do, which may incur some bill, but you can actually view it rather than doing it by yourself. So that is something I'm going to tell you. Now, what are services? Now, these are the services. So you can see there's so many services out there. These are just the opening of it. Like each one under this will have multiple services. If you just click on all services over here, so you can see the number of services you have here. You see that there's so many number of services which AWS uses directly, and there is also indirect services. Okay, so which is like which is not displayed because it's indirect and it's used within the service. So there is also indirect services which is very much advanced, so don't worry about it. So what you can do here is like these are some help actually which is given from AWS to quickly sort things out for you. So if you're here for compute, then there is that it goes to EC2. But if you just click on it, these are some of the options or the services which is coming under compute. Okay, so likewise, front-end web development, if you're looking for that, these are the services under it. So these are catalogs, you can say, wherein which services are binded into it. Okay, so there may be multiple services which is related to this catalog. So you can actually select the catalog and see what is actually inside this as services which may be related to this particular catalog. All right. So this is the Service Explorer that's going to show you the catalog and the services. And this is the easiest way of getting any service. For example, you want to raise a service ticket with AWS. Just say service or ticket or something like that, and it's going to go to service, incident manager support. You can see that pretty much these are services which comes through when you type tickets. So likewise, you want to keep some storage. So you just type storage over here, and you kind of get all the services which is related to storage, which is frequently used. So if you ask me, oh, okay, so what about other storage services? You can just click on show more, and you can actually see all the storage services over here, because it only shows you the most used ones when you type storage. If you're looking for database over here, so just type database and you're going to get the services which is related to database firstly, and then the features, which is part of services. The features make sure that it's like a catalog of services. So these are the things you can do with a service. Okay, so that's the one. And then you have resources where you can actually open resources and read about them and understand about them. You have documentation, which you can do the same thing. And you have knowledge articles, which people ask questions about a specific, service and how to do that. And then there will be people responding to it. And you will see Amazon's representative respond to it as well. And then you have marketplace over here where you can actually see the third party people coming in from. You can see that this is from Data Sunrise, technology. So this is a company which sells this kind of a solution. So you can see marketplace as well. You will see Oracle oriented solutions as well. So when you just look for the marketplace, a lot of people sell stuff for you guys, okay, to work with it. And then you have blog post, of course, where people write blogs about their experience while working with that particular service or particular database migration or something like that. And then you have events. Events are very important because sometimes the service will be under maintenance because there is some people doing some work around it on that. So those will pop up over here for events, and then you have tutorials. Tutorials are the best thing. So it's just like a documentation, but it is step by step towards achieving a specific goal. So for example, creating and managing non-relational database over here, how to do that. It has a step by step how to work with that. So likewise, the search is filled with a lot of useful information. It's just that you have to think about all these available options to you when you are on the console. The options are there, you just have to think about it. Which option should I go for? All right. Now you have this console home service over here. So you can also add items like bookmark them over here. So you can have add this EC2 service. I have done that because I host a lot of trainings for that. So I have certain services running over here, which is not necessarily for you. It would be there. It would be like clean one for you guys. But then I do something on training purpose. So I get all these things. So majorly, I'm on the region over here. So this is the region. So US East, North Virginia. Now, I am currently located in the UK, but why would I select something like North Virginia, which is like a little far away from me, isn't it? Because it's the cheapest region where I can host service for like really less price when compared with hosting it on London, because London, as you know, is like the UK is like an island, and the data center space is very less, so the cost is higher for me. So that's why I choose North Virginia. So there are strategical things which you can actually use here. That's what we're going to discuss while going further in this program, as well as on the future programs as well. So I'm going to share with you how we will do cost cutting, how we will save money as well when we start hosting machines like this. Like these are like larger instances of M5X large. So how are we going to save money on that? Those things also I'm going to discuss. So this is not just one-off training and then I leave you, nothing like that. So these trainings are going to be followed with more additional trainings, because I have the experience of working with multiple customers and I know the way they work around with the customer care people from AWS, Azure as well. So I'm going to tell you and share you all those interesting things and make it very interesting for you going forward. Thank you again for your time and patience. I'll see you on the next video.